Hello, my name is Enzo.
And I'm Isabelle.
And today we have Monica Karam in front of us for a nice interview.
Yeah, so we just find out more about what you do. And one of the first questions we wanted to ask you was just noting the fact that there are so many types of coaches out there. There are business coaches, health coaches, creativity coaches, you name it. And then there's this huge category called life coaching. And so we're just curious to know, what do you do as a clarity and spirituality coach?
Okay, good question. So what I do is I help people reconnect to who they truly are. But what I do is that I look at what's going on in their lives. And many of us have doors that we keep open in our lives, and we don't close them. So they keep taking up so much space, and it doesn't help us move to who we truly are. So what I do is I help them. I don't do it for them. I help people reconnect to who they are.
So you see that clearly, these doors?
You don't see anything yet. I sit with them, as we get to know each other, things start happening. And they see that things that don't serve them anymore are still there, and that they can't see good stuff in their lives. They tend to repeat tapes, all the time repeating the same tape. That takes up so much space. It's like a bedroom that's cluttered and has so much stuff in it that when a new thing comes in, they can't see it because so much of the energy is taken up there.
Right.
So what I do is I help them see that this doesn't serve them anymore. When you close those doors and then reconnect to who they are and what they love and who they really are, not what anybody expects them to be, who they are, so that they can move forward in their lives.
So Monica, I know that you came to Canada not too long ago, to Montreal. Can you tell us a little about the journey of how you came here, what happened, and how did you get into being a life coach and into the spiritual movement, so to speak?
So I moved here 4 years ago. I was married, I have 3 kids, and I didn't know anyone when I moved here. So I left my life in Dubai. I used to live in Dubai, and I'm Lebanese, but I left my life and I moved to something that I knew nothing, nobody. And then my marriage fell apart. So everything that I knew between people, my life before, everything was taken away from me in a way. And I was left with myself. And I didn't know how to cope. So I basically broke down. And I didn't have that support around me.
Right.
So when I broke down, I was like, what am I going to do now? This is a new country, new people, new everything. And I remember one night thinking to myself, God, help me. I don't know how to get out of this. And I feel so broken. And no way, I mean, I believed in God, but that day it was like, please guide me, show me anything. And from that day on, I would get signs, like things would open up, people would come into my life, places, different things. So I started to follow. If it's like the first thing that came in were people. Energy healing, which I'd never heard of before. I called a friend, she said, Monica, you need to go find an energy healer. And I was like, what is an energy healer? I have no idea. And I went, Google, West Island energy healer. And Karen came up. So I started doing that work, and it's led me to healing myself through all the different resources that I use, energy healing, getting to know my soul, really myself. And through that, I was like, okay, I want to help others. So everything that I struggle with, and on top of that, I have children who have ADHD, so I started the journey on helping my children also. So I started the support group for ADHD, support group for single parents, and most of all, I decided to study coaching so that I can help others, basically pay it forward, because other people helped me, and I wanted to teach others.
Yeah, those are usually the best
Yes,
coaches.
I mean, I don't think we're given anything in life by accident. My struggles were given to me for my better use, for me to use it to help others, to get better and help others.
It sounds like the universe gave you all kinds of problems
So
so
many.
that you
I
could
can't tell
shed
you.
the skin and just be
Yes,
reborn.
I think sometimes you don't always have to break down, but sometimes when you break down, you actually need to really discover the real you.
And you get creative then. That's the point where
Trust me,
you have
very
no
creative.
choice.
Well, Monica,
Yeah.
you and I know each other. You know each other well.
Yes, we
really
know
well.
each other very
And
well.
I can say that I think one of your gifts or your talents is your ability to. I mean, even in this kind of state where you're completely down and broken, that you have an ability to still see and notice the signs. And since you and I have gotten to know each other, I've found that it's contagious. And even but it's true.
This is good.
I'd say that even through our friendship and you know getting to know each other, that it's contagious. And I started to notice the signs in my life too as a result of just having these conversations with you, and it's very inspiring and very common, I think, for you. And whenever we talk, oh, you'll never guess what happened to me. And
exciting.
and
For me, it's
there's an
exciting.
open, there's definitely I see that you have an openness to those possibilities. You're talking about, you know, when people are really focused on something, on a difficulty or a challenge they're having, and they're not noticing opportunities, and they're kind of going around in circles. And I think that I definitely relate to what you were saying about through your clarity and spirituality coaching, that you're able to, you know, get people to look away from that for a moment and see
The gratitude, grateful. You know, people don't see all the good that they're given in life. Sometimes they focus on what they don't have, and they don't realize that what they don't have, what they have, so many people are praying for. And the more we're grateful for what we have, the more beautiful things happen to us.
Absolutely.
You know, and the more we change the way our outlook, our mindset, the more good comes into our lives. But good is there, but we don't see it because we're so focused over here at the things that are not so great.
So I've noticed on your website,
Mhm.
and as I mentioned earlier, because I also know you, that you have a very strong affinity with butterflies. And
My favorite things are butterflies.
and on your
My
website,
butterflies.
yes, I mean, yes, exactly. They're everywhere, and you notice them everywhere, and they have a very strong significance for you. And on your website, you talk about, you know, let me help you be the butterfly that you were meant to be. And so I'm just curious. Can you tell us a little more about what does it look like when we come into our own and we become the butterfly that we are meant to be? What does that look like and feel like?
It feels amazing, but until you get there, you're this little caterpillar that still doesn't know who she is. And in order to become that butterfly, you have to go through a lot of difficulties. And you don't look so good. There's a lot of things that you're going to go through that are difficult in life. And what happens, in order to become the butterfly, you've got to push past that. And that growth that you do when you're pushing past it is what helps you grow. So tough times are given to us as tests, I believe. They're given to us as tests in order for you to grow to the next stage in your life and to be who you're meant to be. And for me, the butterfly has followed me everywhere. Anytime I'm on the right path, I see a butterfly. Okay, it has to do with Gabrielle Bernstein, who talks about animal spirits and numbers and stuff, and I work with that. That guides me, but I know I'm in the right direction when I see a butterfly. It will turn up anywhere. Whether it's in a picture, whether it's here in the studio outside, or anywhere I'm going. The butterfly to me says, you're doing good.
Excellent.
And I'm becoming the butterfly, and that's what I want to help other people do, become the butterfly. As my daughter says, Mom, you're the butterfly, but your wings are not fully developed. She's not, okay?
Wow.
So
You can count on them.
so when you do better in your
Wisdom.
life, you actually affect your children.
Absolutely.
So that's key. So do the work on yourself so that you can help your kids and your surroundings, your friends, because it's contagious.
Speaking of inspiration, now that we're there,
Now that we're there.
on your website you post a lot of inspiring quotes and whatnot. is there something or someone in your life that inspires you? A movement maybe, or
For me,
an author?
those quotes started to inspire me. So I would get up every morning to help me through it. I would post a quote. It just started for me. And then I realized that it's all the universe, we're all connected. So
Yes.
when I posted, it was helping somebody else. So and it just started to make sense.
It's a matrix.
And then, yes, and then I would read. I mean, Oprah is my person. Super Soul Sunday, I don't miss ever. And then there's Gabrielle Bernstein,
Yeah.
Brene Brown. She helped me with vulnerability. So I do a lot of research to grow on myself. But I don't believe that I'm supposed to just learn and not share. So I don't do anything, everybody knows that, without sharing. So my Facebook page, my blogs, I write about my experiences and what I've learned. So it is to help others. Everything I do, I think we're all given a life purpose,
Yeah.
and I think our purpose is to use our gifts to help others.
So that brings me to the next question, which is, speaking of helping others and sharing that wealth, sharing that wisdom, and guiding people through their own process of coming into themselves and living aligned lives. So 20 years ago, if you said I'm a life coach, people would have looked at you and said, huh? And I would dare say that even today, it's still something that is kind of not very clear, and people aren't really sure, what does that mean, or what does this do? But despite that, I feel that it's grown a lot as a movement, and it's very common that you hear someone talking about going to see their coach. So I'm curious, why do you think that people today, more so today than 20 years ago or so, are seeking this kind of support? Why are people looking for a life coach?
First of all, 3 years ago, I didn't know what a life coach was. Really, I didn't. And somebody mentioned that they were a life coach, and I was like, this is fascinating. What is this? And then through the coaching, really, I didn't know. It was a message, I think it was planted that time when I went to, a woman randomly that I met said that she was a life coach. And I was like, wow, this is so exciting. What do you do again? And I was like, but it just planted it for me. But through all the people that have helped me, coaching, what's nice about it is that it doesn't delve so much into your past. It takes you from where you are now and pushes you forward. And that's what people want. I mean, they're very nice. You should go and see a psychologist if you have issues and you're still stuck in certain things. But people don't want to. People want to move forward. So I think that's what coaching, and even coaches have coaches. So it's all about finding the right person and you have to be connected to the person that you coach with, because coaching is a journey. So if you don't feel it, you have to I have a good business coach, different people who help you, but it's a connection. Someone that will help you get to your goals.